I should have known something was wrong when my daughter Lily disappeared during the wedding reception's main course. My husband was busy with best man duties, and I was searching everywhere for our little girl, who'd been so excited to be a flower girl despite her bright pink arm cast. Has anyone seen Lily? I asked, growing increasingly concerned as I moved between the elegantly decorated tables. Oh, your daughter. One of the bridesmaids touched my arm delicately. The bride had her moved to, alternative seating. My blood ran cold. Alternative seating? What does that mean? The bridesmaid shifted uncomfortably. Amanda said the pink cast was ruining all the reception photos. She had the wedding coordinator take her to the bathroom to finish her dinner. For the aesthetic, you know. I didn't know. I couldn't comprehend how anyone could banish a 4-year-old child, her own niece, to eat alone in a bathroom. But then again, I'd never fully understood my sister-in-law's obsession with her social media presence. I rushed to the venue's main bathroom, my heels clicking against the marble floors. When I pushed open the heavy door, the sound of quiet sobbing hit me like a physical blow. There was my baby girl sitting on the floor in her flower girl dress, her plate balanced precariously on her lap. Her pink cast, the result of a playground accident last week, stood out against the white tulle of her dress. "Mommy," she whimpered, "Auntie Amanda said I'm making her wedding ugly." Something in me snapped. Maybe it was seeing my daughter's tears, or maybe it was remembering all the times Amanda had prioritized her social media aesthetic over basic human decency. Like last month, when she visited the children's hospital where I worked as a nurse, supposedly to donate toys. Instead, she tore down the photo wall of cancer survivors because it clashed with her TikTok background. She got millions of views on that video, dancing in front of blank walls that used to hold pictures of brave children who fought for their lives. No one at the wedding knew about that incident. The hospital had kept it quiet to protect the children's privacy. But I had the security footage on my phone, waiting for the right moment. "Come here, sweetheart," I said, helping Lily up and brushing off her dress. "Let's go show Auntie Amanda what really makes something ugly." I carried Lily back to the reception hall, where Amanda was holding court at the head table, her white designer gown perfectly arranged for photos. My brother-in-law, caught up in his new wife's carefully curated world, barely glanced our way. "What is she doing back in here?" Amanda hissed as we approached. I was very clear about the seating arrangement. "You mean the bathroom floor?" I asked loudly enough for nearby guests to hear. "That seating arrangement?" A few heads turned. Amanda's picture-perfect smile faltered slightly. "It's for the aesthetic," she said firmly. "My social media followers expect a certain level of sophistication. A pink cast ruins the entire color scheme." "Speaking of your social media," I said, reaching for the microphone the DJ had left on the nearby stand. "I think your followers might be interested in seeing another side of their favorite influencer." Amanda's eyes widened as I connected my phone to the venue's display system, another detail she'd insisted on for her wedding slideshow. "What are you doing?" she demanded, rising from her seat. "Showing everyone your most recent viral content," I replied, pulling up the security footage. "The one you didn't post." The massive screen flickered to life, showing Amanda entering the children's cancer ward. The timestamp displayed last month's date. We all watched as she instructed her videographer to take down the photos of smiling children, kids who'd fought battles bigger than anyone in this reception hall could imagine. "Those pictures are hideous," Amanda's voice rang out clearly in the footage. "My followers don't want to see sick kids. Take them all down. We can put them back after I get my content." The footage continued, showing her dancing and posing in front of the blank walls while nurses protested in the background. In one corner of the frame, a small bald child watched his own picture being taken down, tears rolling down his face. The reception hall had gone completely silent. Every guest was staring at the screen, then at Amanda, whose face had turned an interesting shade of red. "Turn it off," she demanded. "This is my wedding day." "Like this was supposed to be Lily's special day as your flower girl?" I asked, gesturing to my daughter's tear-stained face. "Before you banished her to the bathroom for having a broken arm." "That's different," Amanda spluttered. "My social media presence is my career. I have 2 million followers. And now they'll all know what you did to those children's photos. How you made kids fighting cancer feel like they were too ugly for your aesthetic." My brother-in-law finally found his voice. "Amanda, tell me you didn't really." They put the pictures back up, she protested. It was just for a few videos. A few videos that got millions of views, I said. Views you earned by making sick children feel ashamed of their appearance, just like you made my daughter feel ashamed today. The murmuring among the guests grew louder. Several people were already pulling out their phones, no doubt searching for Amanda's social media accounts. You're ruining my wedding, Amanda said through clenched teeth. I looked down at Lily, who was clutching my hand and staring at her aunt with confused, hurt eyes. No, you ruined it yourself when you decided your Instagram aesthetic was more important than basic human kindness. Those kids at the hospital, Lily said suddenly, her small voice carrying in a quiet room. They were brave like me when I broke my arm. My cast is pink because pink is brave. Several guests wiped their eyes. Amanda's mother had her hand pressed to her mouth in horror. The perfect wedding aesthetic was crumbling, replaced by something raw and real. I think I said into the microphone, it's time for some truth in your social media presence. Your followers should know exactly who they're following. As phones continued to come out and Amanda's carefully curated world began to unravel, I picked up my daughter and her ruined dinner plate. Let's go get you some cake, sweetheart, I said. And we'll eat it right here at the table, pink cast and all. Within hours, the wedding venue had transformed from a Pinterest-perfect celebration into a social media nightmare. Guests were posting snippets of the security footage, and Amanda's carefully cultivated influencer reputation was unraveling with each share. But that was just the beginning. Mom, look. Lily pointed at Amanda's mother, who was storming toward us with a tablet in hand. She wasn't angry at me, though her fury was directed entirely at her new daughter-in-law. Care to explain this? She thrust the tablet at Amanda. On the screen was a fundraising page from 6 months ago, supposedly for children's cancer research. Amanda had raised over $50,000 from her followers. That money never reached the hospital, I said quietly. As a nurse there, I would have known about such a significant donation. Amanda's perfectly contoured face paled. I can explain. Please do, her new husband interrupted, looking at the tablet over his mother's shoulder. Explain how you use sick children to raise money that disappeared. The processing fees were high, Amanda stammered, and organizing the fundraiser took so much time. So you kept the money, someone gasped. I deserved compensation for my influence. Amanda's voice rose hysterically. Do you know how many hours I spent creating content? The wedding photographer, who had been quietly documenting everything, cleared his throat. Actually, I have something relevant to share. He pulled out his phone and played a video from a planning session. There was Amanda, detailing exactly how she would use the children's hospital for content. We'll make it look super sad, she was saying in the video. Sadder means more engagement. And we'll set up a donation link. My followers are so stupid, they'll throw money at anything that makes them feel good about themselves. The videographer looked sick. I thought she actually donated the money. That's why I agreed to film at the hospital. My brother-in-law sank into a chair, his face ashen. Our honeymoon to Bali. You said you paid for it with your influencer earnings. That was my money, Amanda shrieked. I earned it. All those hours of planning, filming, editing. Stealing, I corrected. You stole from people who thought they were helping sick children. Lily tugged at my dress. Mommy, is that why Auntie Amanda didn't want my cast in pictures? Because it reminds people of the hospital? Before I could answer, another guest stood up, a lawyer, as it turned out. As a member of the hospital's board, she said, I feel obligated to inform you that fraudulent fundraising is a serious criminal offense. Amanda's picture-perfect facade cracked completely. You don't understand. My followers expect a certain lifestyle. The perfect clothes, the perfect vacations, the perfect wedding. It all costs money. Money you stole from children with cancer, her mother-in-law said coldly. The wedding planner, who had been furiously typing on her phone, looked up. The hospital story is trending. Your followers are finding all your fake fundraisers. There were others. Indeed, people around the room were discovering more. Fake fundraisers for animal shelters, disaster victims, homeless veterans. Amanda had built her influencer empire on a foundation of exploitation and theft. I had to maintain my image. Amanda was almost screaming now. Nobody wants to follow someone ordinary. I needed the designer clothes, the exotic trips, The bathroom dinner for a 4-year-old with a broken arm. I added quietly. My brother-in-law stood up slowly. How much? He asked. How much did you steal in total? Amanda's silence was damning. Over $200,000, the lawyer announced, still scrolling through her phone. According to these fundraising pages, the wedding cake, a towering masterpiece of white fondant and sugar flowers that had cost thousands, sat forgotten in the corner. Like everything else about Amanda, it was all for show, beautiful on the outside, hollow within. I want an annulment, my brother-in-law said quietly, and I want you to turn yourself in. Turn myself in. Amanda laughed hysterically. Are you insane? This is all her fault. She pointed at me. She ruined everything. My wedding, my reputation. You ruined it yourself, I replied, the moment you decided that your social media aesthetic was worth more than basic human decency. Lily, who had been quiet during all this, suddenly walked over to Amanda. With her uninjured hand, she reached into her flower girl basket and pulled out her last handful of rose petals. These are for you, Auntie Amanda, she said, dropping them at her aunt's feet. Because Mommy says even when people are mean, we should still be kind. But I don't want to be in your pictures anymore. It was this simple act of childish kindness that finally broke Amanda completely. She collapsed into her expensive chair, mascara streaming down her face, as police sirens became audible in the distance. The lawyer had made some calls. As officers entered the reception hall, Amanda made one last desperate attempt to salvage her image. She grabbed her phone and started recording. My followers will never believe this, she said frantically. I'll tell them it's all a lie, a setup for views. They'll believe me, they always believe me. The police officer gently took her phone. Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. As they led Amanda away, her white designer dress trading aesthetic for irony, Lily tugged at my dress again. Mommy, can we go home now? My cast is itchy. I picked her up, careful of her injured arm. Yes, baby, let's go home. And tomorrow, maybe we can make a real donation to the children's hospital. With my own money from my piggy bank, she asked proudly. Yes, I smiled, watching as Amanda's perfect wedding dissolved into chaos behind us. Because that's what real influencers do, they help others, even if nobody is watching. 3 days after the wedding disaster, while the internet was still buzzing with Amanda's scandal, she made her final desperate play from behind bars. Her last Instagram post went viral within hours. The real story about my sister-in-law and the hospital. The post contained edited footage from the children's hospital, manipulated to make it look like I had helped her orchestrate the fake fundraisers. She'd been planning this backup all along, it seemed, keeping altered videos as insurance. My phone exploded with notifications. Her loyal followers, desperate to believe their favorite influencer was innocent, started harassing me online. Some even called the hospital, questioning my employment. But Amanda had made one crucial mistake. Mrs. Thompson. A small voice called out as I entered the children's ward for my shift. It was Danny, one of our long-term patients who'd been there the day Amanda took down the photos. I have something to show you. 10-year-old Danny, fighting leukemia but never losing his spirit, held up his tablet. He'd been learning video editing as part of his therapy, and had recorded everything that day on his device. I kept it because it made me sad, he explained. But maybe it can help now. The unedited footage showed everything. Amanda's cruel comments, her explicit plans to deceive her followers, and most importantly, me and other staff members actively protesting her actions. Danny, I said, hugging him carefully around his IV lines, you're a hero. Within hours, Danny's video spread across social media, completely discrediting Amanda's accusations. But he wasn't done yet. Can we make our own video? He asked. Show people what really happens here. That afternoon during my break, we recorded something beautiful. Danny went around the ward, interviewing young patients about their experiences. They showed off their artwork, their brave battle scars, their achievements. Lily even came after school, proudly displaying her pink cast now covered in signatures from her new friends in the ward. This is what real content looks like, Danny declared in the final shot. No filters, no lies, just hope. The video went viral for all the right reasons. Genuine donations started pouring in. Real influencers reached out, offering to help raise awareness without taking a penny for themselves. Amanda watched her last attempt at revenge backfire spectacularly from her jail cell. Her followers, finally seeing the truth, turned their support to Danny's honest portrayal of life in the children's ward. My brother-in-law, still reeling from the betrayal, channeled his pain into something positive. He donated all the wedding gifts to the hospital and started a foundation to monitor charitable fundraising by social media influencers. As for Lily, she had one last encounter with her aunt before the court proceedings began. We were leaving the hospital after visiting Danny when we ran into Amanda being escorted in handcuffs for her arraignment. "You're cast," Amanda said, staring at Lily's arm. It actually looks nice in the hospital pictures." Lily looked at her aunt, then at the children's ward where her new friends were. "It's not about looking nice," she said with 4-year-old wisdom. "It's about being nice." Amanda's carefully maintained facade crumbled completely. "I'm sorry," she whispered, but the words came too late. As we watched her being led away, Lily waved with her casted arm. "Mommy, can we go visit Danny again tomorrow? He's teaching me how to make real videos, not pretend ones." "Yes, baby," I smiled, realizing that sometimes the best influences come from the most unexpected places. Real is always better than perfect. In the end, Amanda's quest for the perfect aesthetic cost her everything: her freedom, her marriage, her followers. But in its place, something genuine bloomed. A community of support around the children's ward, led by a 10-year-old boy with a tablet and a 4-year-old girl with a pink cast. Their joint TikTok channel, Hospital Heroes, now has twice as many followers as Amanda ever did. But more importantly, every penny raised goes exactly where it should, to helping children fight their battles with style, strength, and absolutely no filters needed. Because sometimes the most beautiful pictures are the ones that show life exactly as it is: messy, imperfect, and absolutely real.